Did you know that the Portuguese Empire was the first and one of the longest lasting global empires? It went on for almost 600 years. Portugal is a small country, but it has a long list of firsts and greats. It is the country that gave us barbecue chicken. But there are a few strange Portuguese foods that will make you scratch your head. We also have port wine and Cristiano Ronaldo to thank Portugal for. The Portuguese use some strange words like swallowing frogs, which means to bite your tongue, and breaking the coconut laughing, which means to laugh so hard that you lose control. The Portuguese tell stories in a way that is vivid and full of details. Portugal has a lot more interesting things that people don't know about. It's time to find out what makes this country so great. 1. The official name for Portugal is the Portuguese Republic. It is a country on the Iberian Peninsula in southwest Europe. It is on the Atlantic coast of the Iberian Peninsula. 2. Portugal has some things in common. Both geographically and culturally, the rocky northern coast and the hilly interior are similar to the countries of Northern Europe and the Mediterranean. They have a few people living there. The south of the country is beautiful and wild. The Algarve is warm and full of good soil. 3. The highest point in Portugal is in the rough Estrela Mountains, which are between the Tagus and Mondego rivers. 4. Portuguese is the 7th most spoken language in the world. It is spoken in Portugal, Brazil, and several African countries, such as Angola and Mozambique. 5. Keeping a large area of ponds inside the Parque Natural de Ria Formosa is a protected lagoon system in the eastern Algarve. It is made up of salt pans, creeks, and beach islands. The system covers an area of 18,000 hectares. It's a popular place for bird watchers and tourists because it's a key stop between Europe and Africa on the migration route. 6. People don't know this, but Portugal was the world's first maritime power and the place where some of the first adventurers were born. In the 15th and 16th centuries, the country was the first place Europeans went to look for new land. 7. Alvarez Cabral and other explorers find new lands like Brazil, parts of Africa, and the Far East, and claim them for Portugal. 8. The Parque Nacional de Pina de Gueiras is tucked away in the north of Portugal. It is a wilderness wonderland with rocky peaks, riverside forests, and secret waterfalls. 9. In Portugal, it is against the law to pee in the water. Portuguese rules are meant to keep beaches safe for families, which mean that you can eat while you swim. 10. The Bengali Caves are one of the most well-known places in Portugal. This huge natural seaside cave has a hole in the roof where sunlight shines down on the sandstone and beach below. 11. Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, is one of the oldest places in Europe. It is even older than Rome. Since 1147, Lisbon has been a Portuguese city, but it goes back a few thousand years before Portugal. 12. Archaeological finds from 1200 BC show that the Phoenicians lived in what is now Lisbon. This means that people have lived in Lisbon continuously for more than 3,000 years. 13. The Duro International National Park is right on the border with Spain. It is also the border since the river flows in a way that separates Portugal and Spain, making it one of the most famous places to visit. 14. Goose barnacles, also called Lucifer's fingers because of how strange they look, are one of the strangest Portuguese foods. Their thick trunks look like fingers, and their feet, which are in the shape of a diamond, look like claws. 15. The Portuguese Carnival is one of the most exciting parties in the world. It is a holiday in Portugal that is observed by many different groups. A lot of people are in the area because of the street parades and theater shows. This carnival in the Algarve also has floats and masks. 16. During Carnival in the Algarve, traditional Portuguese boats with intricate designs sail along the coast to celebrate the holiday. 17. Because Portugal is a special place in the world, you can see animals from both North Africa and Europe there. Portugal is home to more than 36 species of mammals, 25 species of reptiles, and 19 species of amphibians. Boars, wild goats, fallow deer, foxes, and Iberian hares are some of these species. The Iberian lynx is the world's most threatened cat species. 18. Even though Portugal doesn't have a national animal, many people there see the rooster as a sign of their country. 19. Portugal is well known for making port wine. Port is a type of fortified wine that is usually sweet and is often drunk with food. It is only made in the Duro Valley area of northern Portugal, which makes it a unique and highly valued product of the country. 20. Because Portugal's Iberian Wolf Peninsula is so far from the rest of the world, the Iberian wolf that lives there has developed differently than most wolves around the world. This animal lives mostly in the northern part of the country. Its tail and the tops of its front legs are marked with dark spots. A white mask goes around its upper lip. 21. The Portuguese language is very complicated and full of interesting and funny sayings. For example, Portuguese people say that he woke up with his feet outside, which means that he woke up with his feet outside the covers, which made him angry. If nothing else, this saying is funny and easy to understand. 22. Portugal is a close-knit country where most people are Roman Catholic. Its history is rich because of many things, like Celtic and Lusitanian, Phoenician, Germanic, Visigoth, Viking, and Sephardic, both Jews and Moors. 23. Festivals are a big part of the Portuguese way of life. People dress up in weird outfits and masks at the one-of-a-kind Iberian Mask Festival as an example. 24. The most important types of music in Portugal are Fado, folk music, and dancing. Fado, which means destiny or fate, is on the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage. It is often known for its sad tunes and words. Ovas. 25. Adult fish ovaries, called fish roes, are boiled and served with potatoes or veggies. 26. The Portuguese love fish, especially codfish, which they call bacalhau, and cook in more than 1,000 different ways. 27. The biggest wave ever seen was in Portugal. It was called Big Mama, and it was about 100 feet high. 28. At its peak, Portugal's Colonial Empire lasted for 600 years. This made it the longest-lasting modern European empire. The places that are now 53 different countries were all part of the Portuguese Empire. All of Portugal's African countries were free by the end of 1975, while Brazil became independent in 1822. After 442 years of rule, Portugal gave its last port, Macau, to China in 1999. 29. Portugal has had a renaissance in the arts in the last few decades, and the towns of Lisbon, Porto, and Guimarães have all been named European capitals of culture. 30. Portugal is known for its beautiful Azuelos, which are made of clay. All over the country, you can find these tiles on buildings, churches, and even subway stops.